Louise is by far one of the most overlooked characters in Attack on Titan this season, and rightfully so. In her second introduction to the series in Attack on Titan final season, to her death, we never saw much of her. But you may be wondering, second introduction, SeaTactics? That's right, fellow person, she was in season 1 if you remember correctly, but the reason you're here is to figure out why Louise took that scarf. So to better understand her and why she did it, let's start from the beginning. Let's head back to season 1. I'd like to inform you all that at 1,500 Twitter followers, I will be holding a giveaway here on this channel. If you're interested in what I tweet about, from memes, anime news, opinions on airing anime, and just getting in touch with me, then follow me at SeaTacticsYT. Let's get back to the video. In the year 850, during the Battle of Trost District, as humanity struggles to evacuate the compromised walls, Demo Reeves, the head and founder of the merchant company, Reeves Company, is blocking the exit with his cart of goods. In his eyes, his life is more valuable because of his status, and thus, his goods are more important than the very human lives around him. Things, though, get bad to worse as an abnormal titan breaks through and charges directly at the citizens, backed up by Reeves' cart. This leads to our heroic introduction of Mikasa Ackerman to save the day and put Reeves in his place by threatening to kill him if he doesn't back up the cart and let them through. A true class act. Mikasa sets an example for the people there watching the scene unfold, and this in turn inspires Louise, who, with her mother, sees everything that just happened and as a young child grew to see Mikasa as her hero, the one who saved her and these people. Children at this age are young and impressionable, so this is something from this day on the young Louise would keep with her forever, striving to be just like her Mikasa Ackerman, a hero. 4 years later, now a part of the Survey Corps, humanity's wings of freedom, Louise aids in Paradis's invasion of Liberio. Doing her part, she even tries to help take down the cart titan, but is unsuccessful. Eventually, they are forced to retreat as the operation has been completed, and now escape in the Zeppelin to return to Paradis with Floch, John, Connie, and Sasha. They are blindsided by Gabby Braun, who kills Sasha. Floch, along with his men, beat Falco and Gabby, capturing them, while Louise fails to save Sasha's life. Though, more importantly, when returning to Paradis, Eren is arrested, and to follow suit, Louise, along with members like Floch, are arrested for leaking information to the public of Eren's detainment. In her eyes, Louise and the rest of the Jaegerists believe the only way for salvation of the human race is to use the might of the rumbling against Marley and to create a new Eldian empire. Being escorted by Mikasa to her prison cell, it's quite obvious Louise is still infatuated with Mikasa all of these years later. She seems somewhat excited with the prospect of being actually in the same cell as Mikasa once was, though is bummed out to find out that it's not. Though, to Louise, nothing has changed since that day she was saved by Mikasa, and she certainly doesn't regret violating military laws. All those years ago when Mikasa took down that titan, she saw what true might and power were. These moments forever changed Louise, and from that moment believed it to be okay to fight those who wish to use unjust violence. She was saved, and from that moment onward feels that the best way to fight for something isn't exactly diplomacy, but violence against that of violence. After all, the only way to save your life is the fight. This should ring familiar, as this is the same thing that happened to Mikasa when Eren saved her in season 1 and wrapped the scarf around her. Louise even brings this up to Mikasa and expresses how she only wishes to get closer to her, only for Mikasa to cut her off. Sound familiar? Though things would escalate further as the Jaegerists are finally born, and one of the members is our Louise. Dedicating her heart to Eren Yeager's dream, she dutifully follows him as they eventually start to take over and overthrow the military. But as Marley attacks, they are low on members to help defend Paradis, and thus are forced to release all imprisoned members of the Survey Corps to help fight. This leads to another moment with Louise and Mikasa, where the aforementioned expresses her happiness to be working with her, while Mikasa, in turn, expresses disinterest at best. A recurring trend with her interactions, that's for sure. Though it makes sense as, in Mikasa's head, she's unsure of her loyalty for Eren. Is the love she thought she carried with her for all of these years true? Or just some genetic trait carried by Ackermans to follow the will of their commander? This doubt and heartache, and Mikasa pushes her to leave behind the scarf she's worn all along. A sign of her turbulent feelings for Eren Yeager. Louise, in turn, takes this scarf in a way to feel closer to her as they go out onto the battlefield. It's what Mikasa does to push Louise away that seems to drive her to be closer to her hero. This is sad to witness, as Louise is innocuous in pursuing a closer relationship with Mikasa. In the Battle of Paradis, Louise, fighting the newly transformed Pure Titans, is injured when a shard from a Thunder Spear punctures and embeds itself within her stomach. Sadly, her days are numbered, as the shard cannot be removed without her death. Though Louise is visited by Mikasa to get back her scarf, which leads to her final moments in Attack on Titan. There, lying in the bed, looking up at Mikasa, her hero that saved her life has come to see her in her final moments. It is revealed that Louise once met with Eren Yeager, and in their brief conversation, he told her to get rid of Mikasa's scarf. Though Louise felt that he could at least leave it with her, and in turn, it would help Louise get closer to Mikasa. Louise gives her the scarf back, and as Mikasa leaves, expresses to her how she had no regrets in life and devoted her whole life to chasing after one person, Mikasa Ackerman. Whether or not you choose to think the feelings you think Louise has are romantic or platonic for Mikasa, that's not the real conversation that should be going on here. The reason Louise took Mikasa's scarf was to get closer to Mikasa, the woman who saved her life all those years ago. This is because Louise is a mirror of Mikasa. And even Mikasa herself sees that. I understand that that's maybe a little confusing, so I'll try to help explain it to you. Both Louise and Mikasa were saved by someone in a moment when they needed help from a hero. Both people follow their hero in an attempt to simply just get closer to them, but constantly are given cold shoulders or ignored by that person. Both don't have the autonomy in these situations to assert their feelings for them or make good on them. Both don't follow their leaders, rather, they follow those who they have feelings for. And of course, both, even in the face of these rejections, are still loyal to their beliefs and don't give up pursuing them. Louise is Mikasa, and Mikasa is Louise. 420 is real, the Illuminati is Bertolt. Though I think it's important to realize that Louise, in my opinion, is tragic and could be a signal that Mikasa's relationship with Eren could be that as well. This should be a wake-up call for Mikasa to realize what she needs to do. And just what exactly is that? Well, analyzing Louise's situation, I think it's a combination of standing up for her feelings and telling Eren exactly how she feels, but as well put an end to Eren's rumbling. Louise, in her life story, never had autonomy. She never acted on her own without there being a clear goal of chasing after someone else. What Mikasa needs to realize is that when you chase after someone and not your own goals, you cease to be your own person. You become someone who exists for the sole purpose of existing for someone else. Louise's defining trait through all of Attack on Titan is the woman who chased after an idealized version of Mikasa. Now, here's a little 60 chess for you, audience. What is Mikasa's one complaint from people throughout most of Attack on Titan? Pause the video and comment it down below before I reveal what it is. Mikasa's singular complaint has always been she's a character that exists to love Eren, following only him, and thus being a character that has, well, no defining traits or qualities. My friends, that's on purpose because Mikasa's story has always been about breaking free from the shadow of a person who defines you. I mean, Think about it. What point is there for Mikasa to have her personality if her sole purpose is to protect and follow Eren? Do you want to know why Mikasa has been so sad throughout this entire season? It's because she has been realizing everything we've been saying as a collective in the AOT fandom. She now knows what her purpose is, and she can't just keep protecting Eren because eventually those Titans are going to hit the mainland, and when they do, they're going to stomp out all life. And what then? Does she become Eren's boyfriend in a post-apocalypse? This is Mikasa's first step of achieving self-realization. What's important now is those next few steps. What will they be? The world is watching. And congratulations, you just watched a video that was ultimately about Mikasa Ackerman. Ain't that cool? Thank you for watching. If you want to get cool emotes and badges from my live streams, then consider becoming a channel member. And as well, at 50 channel members, I will produce an original One Piece series where members get 1 week early access. As well, watch my video on Floch Forster and Gabby Braun if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful. Thanks for watching.